What's happening, guys? I'm Dan. Welcome back to the channel. We're diving back into some great Michigan craft beer, and you can see it for yourself. It's the newest version of KBS, a variant. Once again, dropped into distribution this last month. It is going to be KBS Spicy Chocolate. 12% ABV, so that should be the standard just about for all the KBS these days. And KBS Spicy Chocolate is a blend of sweet and spicy that come together like a sensory symphony. This batch of KBS is made with dried chilies and chocolate for a rich mole-inspired punch of flavors. Expect dark chocolate and dried peppers with hints of smoke and spicy finish that lingers just long enough to be cooled by your next sip. A unique and unexpected twist to our KBS. So this was bottled on 12/26/23, and today is 1/18/24. So less than a month old, although this can be barrel aged and just put in the cellar for further notice. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about this mole-inspired KBS, but when I see KBS, I try to get it because it's only fair. So we got, again, the $22.99 standard for a 4-pack these days. That's just what it costs, guys. A lot of you on this channel complain quite a lot about KBS being like a different recipe compared to the old days. It could be true. It could be true. It seems like it's less bodied than it used to be. It seems like it's just a little bit different. But also our palates have changed, so it's hard to ever know if that's the truth or not. But as I pour it, it's not pitch black. Definitely got some dark, just dark brown going into the glass. It's definitely black as it builds into the actual glassware. And you've got this like dark, not dark, but just mocha head sitting on top is the best way to put it, guys. And it's got quite a nice little bit of head retention going on there. Pretty creamy, actually, too. Like, I feel like that's a little bit creamier than I'm used to seeing for KBS. Maybe I'm wrong. Or maybe it's just because it's a fresh one and it hasn't matured in this glass. It's hard to say, but I will say, disclaimer, this has been chilled. And this has been in a room temperature area for almost 2 hours, so it's still quite cold, but sometimes I like a small little chill on my bourbon barrel aged beers, just a little bit. But I didn't see this one coming, really, I feel like, in distribution. They did give us a heads up on Instagram, but just a strange flavor. I didn't see them playing with this one, so let's go to an aroma. So it still smells quite like rich chocolatey goodness, a little bit of brownie and brownie batter. Bourbon heat is very subdued. I can't tell if it's the bourbon barrel, maybe just a slight woodiness to the beer that I'm getting. Or is it the smoky peppers that I'm getting that's maybe being confused for a hot barrel? I don't know. But it is. It's got like the jalapeno kind of resinous, hot smoke coming off the nostrils or going into the nostrils, really, and I do get a little bit of that. A little bit of like fennel, just a small little hint. Maybe a little bit of leather. But it does smell like rich, peppery chocolate. I mean, the mole. I mean, that's just the mole sauce. That's what it smells like to quite a good degree here. Smells dry. It doesn't smell too overly sweet, but maybe a little bit of milk chocolate mixed into some dark chocolates in here. We will investigate, guys. First time having this spicy chocolate KBS. Cheers, Michigan. Cheers, everybody else who gets it. So yeah, the first thing I notice, it is kind of smoky, it is kind of peppery, and it is kind of woody. I feel like the peppers, the smoky dried chili peppers kind of collide with woody barrel, and it is very much the same taste that I got in the aroma. It finishes very dry, like the dry peppery, just toothpick, woody barrel, just really punching your taste buds with a little bit of like dry chocolate, dark chocolate bitterness rather. It's like a collision of flavors going on, but I feel like it's very dry. A little bit of roast, a little bit of espresso notes. The coffee's very forward, I'd say, in this beer as well. I'm looking for like a little bit of chewiness in this beer, and I really can't find it. It's definitely on the thinner side for 12%, but that being said, 12% is going down really easily, and I think it really is devoted to the chocolate. It's devoted to the dry chili smoke, a little bit of that leathery anise. The chocolate is not very rich. I want a little bit more like fudgy richness. In this one, it's really just hugging the dark chocolate bitterness, the just softness of a chili pepper. It's not very astringent. It's not too tough on the palate. It's not very off-putting, but there is, again, and it's tough to see, is it more the barrel or is it the chili heat that's kind of colliding with you? It's hard to say. They just kind of play off one another. So just to me, it becomes less pepper, but a little bit more woody barrel. But it's apparent that there are some sort of peppers being used in this beer, but they're not hot. So you're not getting any real big heat from the barrel. You're not getting any real heat from those chili peppers either. It's just a nice, just really a complemented flavor. It almost blends into one flavor rather than having like, this item and plus the barrel. It just feels like it's the barrel with just a little accent on it. I'd say there's definitely dark chocolate in there. I mean, it's very dry. Like, I want to reach for a little bit of milk chocolate richness. I just can't quite get there. And it just seems to hug this the dark chocolate spectrum more than anything else. Is there a little twang of spice? Sure, you could say that, but for me, there's not very much, and maybe they did that on purpose to add to drinkability. Again, 12%, very smooth. There's a little bit of decadence to this beer. But I wish there was a little bit more grit. I wish there was a little bit more body, and I wish there was just like one other layer of something in this beer. It just comes up a little short if I'm critiquing possible world-class stuff. It just seems like it's missing a component in this beer. Like I want to just grab for something else underneath that woody, smoky chili pepper. Because all I really end up with is more smoke, wood, and a little bit of coffee, which I do like the coffee in this too. Like there is a nice little hint of coffee in here that ends up being espresso or dark, rich French roasted coffee beans. But again, I just feel like it just comes up just ever so slightly short. I mean, not by much, but I just want a little bit more to the body. I want a little bit more complexity in the beer. But they made this complex recipe very simple and very smooth, very drinkable. So that's Founders for you. They find a way to kind of complicate a recipe, yet it doesn't destroy the drinking experience. It does really allow you to go back for more, and you can enjoy every single sip of this. So I've always been on the spectrum. Do you make it more complex and less drinkable? Or do you keep that drinkability and dryness and richness and softness? And I think Founders tends to do the thinner body and a little bit less complex adjuncts. I feel like they keep everything even kilter. It's not going to just bang you in one direction. That being said, the peppers do start to build. You do get a little bit of that smoke. You do get a little bit of that chocolate. You do get a little bit of that richness in the chocolatey barrel, the coffee. There's a little bit going on there. But again, if I'm going to rate it, guys, it's probably going to be a 4.2 out of 5. I'm not blown away. It's very good. It's a super tasty 12% beer that I could really easily put down. But again, just looking for a little bit extra. I'm looking for a little bit more body, a little bit other component to reach for, something else. But for what it is, very good. A little bit more coffee. And again, the more you drink it, that spice is starting to build a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's building. So just be aware of that. Guys, KBS Spicy Chocolate, it is what it is. You've heard it from Poor Michigan Reviews. I'm Dan. Until next time, guys. Cheers, Prost, Yamas.